A legacy of thousands of years of rich civilization, thousands of saints and hundreds of epoch-making leaders. India, the land of gods, is now becoming a developed nation. But during the process of development, the masses who build the nation should not be ignored. Otherwise, selfishness and narrowness of our immortal individuality, which is forcibly built due to the rat race of life, will definitely lead us towards an imbalanced society. Swami Vivekananda once said about our ideal society, as a society where ideals of life can be put into practice. As an individual have ancestors who form the aspects of his individuality, so does a society have history which forms the ethics of a society. India, the land of God, land of saints, God-loving people, is full of ideals of life. Even the famous scholar said about Indian people that they have reached to the height of civilization where only their lungs can take breath. We are far behind them. Our goal of regeneration should be to build such a society where ideals of life, who lived for others, should be put into practice. Our ideal of life always remains same, realization of the true self. But now, if we look around us, we will find most of our energy is now wasted in worries about bread and butter. And our requirements about bread and butter are becoming very special. In fact, we too agree about this. But where is the solution?
Many families make a society, and many societies make a country, and many countries make a world. Okay, so base is family, and the base of the family is mother. So as a mother, as a woman, there are more responsibilities on you. So what do you think about these things?
Nowadays,
That's why I said that
there are so many responsibilities to a woman itself, for the family. वो बाहर कहीं देख नहीं पाती. They have become so selfish that वो सिर्फ अपना घर, अपने बच्चे, अपना हस्बैंड.
The solution lies in the history. Many of us think that history is good to read, but do not help us live our life. Many of us believe the scenario has changed.
explain anybody of you what are exactly the responsibilities. Many of you might have learned or read about Sita, Savitri, Damayanti. If anybody ever
But if you ask about these people in this world, in this age, nobody will be even knowing them कि सीता माता क्या करते थे और क्या कोई ये एज में I don't think so कि anybody will prefer being like them. But nowadays they have different responsibilities.
But this is not the case. The motives and inspirations who guided us towards the goal are same since the inception of human life. Power, security, comfort, and growth over others. These are few motives guiding us. In history, we use these motives to gain a kingdom, to gain a chariot, to gain a blessing of a king, to get a freedom. And now, we use them to get a better paying job, a car, a mobile handset, etc. etc. Even though Swamiji inspired us to get inspiration from our history, he strongly opposed imitation. He said, we must have our own ideal and should not imitate others. This thing, as he said, is possible when undetachedly we put the higher ideals before people and get back. Rest of the things will be managed by themselves. We often say, the hand with a string of cradle uplifts the world. Motherhood is the ideal of Indian society. A mass of flesh is transformed to a man by mother. She is the first teacher. She teaches her child to walk. She teaches to speak. And she, by telling various stories, put the ideal before him. Bhuvneshwari Devi, mother of Narendranath, used to read Ramayana and Mahabharata for little Narendranatha. This roused an interest about God in his mind. And later is the history. One of our agenda in regeneration should be educating women. A literate woman can transform a society. But a thin line between literate and educated must be understood.
चाहिए पर अपने संस्कार और अपनी जो परंपरा चल रही है उससे भी हम मुड़ जाए या हम एजुकेटेड है इसलिए उसका नाम नहीं लेते या ऐसा बोलते, वैसा भी नहीं चाहिए. संस्कार भी जरूरी है, एजुकेशन भी जरूरी है. ये दोनों चीजें रही तो हम परिवार सही तरह से उनमें हैंडल कर सकते हैं और बच्चे भी अच्छे हो सकते हैं परिवार.
The difference between the woman who gave birth to the national heroes and today's woman is of principles of life. During those days, women were illiterate, but the core principle of life was religion. By merely performing daily puja activity, we cannot call a person as a religious person. A definition Swamiji made about religion is to understand the true self. Going ahead, he illustrates our true nature as the son of the immortals. There is immense power filled in us. We need to explore it. It's simple. If we want to go to Delhi, we must know Delhi exists and its location. And a desire to go to Delhi will make us reach there by any means. Therefore, if we put higher ideals of a people who lived a life worth living, then only we can become a civilized society. Just take a group of dogs. How we were trained, fights for the bread. So, if after gaining so-called development, if we still fight for resources, then where is the difference between well-trained dogs and a so-called developed society? Furthermore, we cannot make whole world happy. The sum total of happiness and sorrow will remain same all the time. Our efforts to make this world a happy place will definitely fail. The law of personal development is also applicable to the regeneration of a society. We as an individual go through many circumstances in our life, and our reactions to these circumstances makes our future our present. The way we think, we become. Through regeneration, our aim should be to build characters. A society with a strong body, keen intellect, and pure hearts can achieve anything. Our ancestors with these virtues have spread the message of humanity all over the world. Many miraculous things happened during those eras. Mathematics, medical science, or astronomy, or even physics and chemistry. India is the pioneer of all these sciences. That was possible because social culture was introspective. Our thoughts were far beyond the trivial things of earth. India should be regenerated this way. Our ideal of regeneration should be to build and not to destroy. We need to provide opportunities for those who are deprived of it, and to provide fair chance to everyone. We all are part and parcel of the same thing. Some call it God, or some call it supernatural power. Every selfish act encourages the creation of a victim of poor and foolish social standards. We as a human are great souls, and nothing is impossible for us. We are the son of immortals. This teaching is required to be taught to everyone. The lesson of strength is to be taught. We are the most capable race on this earth to rule the world, not to conquer and destroy, but because we know how to respect others, because we know how to worship every individual as an incarnation of God, because we serve the mankind with a feeling of serving of God. Social mind is required to be uplifted. Masses and the ignored should be filled with confidence. A fair chance and equal treatment, not the helping spoon, will solve the problem. A strong national spirit woven around religion. A religion which Swamiji had in his mind, which is to realize the self. And the character building education will make us a global leader in every aspect. Science and technology is required, but to use these things humanitarily, religious lessons which will lift us from lower plane of existence to the Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the unity of universe, is also required. We always have given higher standards of living to the whole world, and this race in future will also do the same thing. Our embodied character never made us a fighting and war-loving nation, nor in future it will be. Today, whole world is facing many problems of immature social development. But look at India. She still holds her inner character to phobia, to adjust, to forgive. We need to remember darkness can only be removed by light, the light of knowledge. The problem of life is becoming deeper and bigger every day as the world moves on. The watchword and the essence have been perched in the days of yore, when the Vedantic truth was first discovered, the solidarity of all life. One atom in this universe cannot move without dragging the whole world along with it. There cannot be any progress without the whole world flowing in the wake, and it is becoming every day clearer that the solution of any problem can never be attained on racial or national or narrow grounds. Every idea has to become broad until it covers the whole of this world. Every aspiration must go on increasing till it has engulfed the whole world, whole of the humanity, nay, the whole of life within its scope. Every one of us ought to have seen that the time had arrived. Everything looks propitious, and Indian thought, philosophical and spiritual, must once more go over and conquer the world. The problem before us, therefore, is assuming larger proportions every day. It is not only that we must revive our own country, that is a small matter. I am an imaginative man, and my idea is the conquest of the whole world by the Hindu race. There have been great conquering races in the world. We also have been great conquerors. The story of our conquest has been described by that noble emperor of India, Ashoka, as the conquest of religion and of spirituality. Once more the world must be conquered by India. This is the dream of my life, and I wish that each one of you who hear me today will have the same dream in your minds and stop not till you have realized the dream. They will tell you every day that we had better look to our own homes first and then go to work outside. But I will tell you in plain language that you work best when you work for others. The best work that you ever did for yourself was when you worked for others.